Hello fellow bookworms, it's Katie, and today we're going to talk about all the books that I've read recently, and with recently I mean all the books that I've read since December, I guess. We actually have only 8 books to go through today, because even though it's been like, what, 2.5, 3 months since my last video, of this kind, I didn't actually read that much. I don't know why. I just went through a massive reading slump. But anyways, let's go and talk about some books. Also, no order here because embrace the chaos. So, let's start with a book that I should have read over Christmas, but I forgot to bring it with me to my father's house. I read it after Christmas. It is Terry Pratchett's Hogfather. This is a Discworld novel centered around Death. Well, Death is one of the protagonists in this book, alongside with Susan, his granddaughter, and you know, a lot of other characters that we may or may not have met before. I think this is the first book of the Discworld series that I really absolutely enjoyed a lot and that I can see myself rereading next Christmas. The story is that someone has paid the assassins to assassinate the Hogfather. And so Death steps up and becomes the Hogfather and rides around on his sled and delivers presents. Yeah, it's very funny, it's very Discworldy, Pratchett, wacky, kind of weird things. What I really enjoyed in this book that, you know, kind of hindered the enjoyment in for me with the other Discworld books that I've read so far is that in this book, at least, all of these scenes have a point. Sometimes when I read the Discworld novels, I feel like there are random scenes in there that don't really attribute anything to the book and are just in there for, I don't know, whatever reason. I think I gave it 4 stars, but I'm not exactly sure. Another book that I really enjoyed and a new release from late last year, is The Mortal World by Genevieve Cogman. This is the 5th book in the Invisible Library series, and I believe it is also the final book. The series was set to have 5 installments, so I think this is the last one. Although with the way this book ended, I would not be surprised if there were, you know, more books in this series to come. Now, I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. I think it's been a while since I've read it. The dragons and the fairies are negotiating a peace treaty, and the library is also present as kind of the neutral party and negotiators. But a murder has occurred. One of the very high-ranking dragon lords has been murdered, and so the library, the Fae, and the dragons all recruit investigators to form a team of investigators of all factions to find out what really happened. Of course, the library recruits Vale from Irene's world, and also Irene because she has, you know, experience with these side of the work. So they investigate in this very high-stakes situation. I love that this book had a lot more intrigue and also a lot more inner library intrigue, which was always hinted at but not really delivered at. It's all very intriguey and Sherlock Holmesy, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, if it is the last book in the series, I definitely would recommend the series to you if you enjoy these kinds of things. Okay, yeah. Okay. So a book that I've read very, very recently, I think I finished it a week ago or something, or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, is Laini Taylor's Strange the Dreamer. This story follows Laszlo Strange, who has always dreamed of finding and exploring the lost city of Weep, which is not the real name of the city because that name has been stolen. A very fortunate opportunity is presented to him and he can visit Weep and has to play a part in the revelation of the mystery that keeps Weep hidden from the world. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I explained the plot of this book correctly. I don't know. And this is a very slow burn kind of book. Going into this book, I kind of expected that we would follow Laszlo trying to reach the city of Weep for this entire book. But no, he reaches the city of Weep kind of very quickly, in a way, and then he kind of like has to deal with this mystery, and also there's the person that can go into dreams and goes into his dreams, and like, yeah, it's about that from then on. I enjoyed going along for the ride. I enjoyed the feel of this world. I think that's probably the thing that enjoyed the most, apart from the writing style, which is very, you know, metaphorical and descriptive. So you really get to immerse yourself into this world. I also enjoyed the characters. They do, you know, they are all authentic. And the plot is also fine, but I think that was the least favorite part of mine. There are a lot of twists and turns, but I could see, you know, the big reveal at the end. I could see that coming from like 700 miles away. So that wasn't really a surprise. I still enjoyed it though. I'll definitely read the second book in the series. Yeah. So there's that. Going with my... So, then I've read, you know, 2/3 of a series. Third book has come out in hardback, I think, and is to come out in paperback later this year, and I will definitely read the third installment. I'm talking about the Winter Night Trilogy, is it called that? I think so. By Katherine Arden. The first book is called The Bear and the Nightingale, and the second book is called The Girl in the Tower. I've read these both back to back. Now in The Bear and the Nightingale we meet a girl called Vasya in a remote northern, you know, village in Russia, and she is special because she can see the Cherti, the kind of spirits in Russian mythology. Because this village is very Orthodox and very Christian, she has to hide that. And when they get a new, you know, what do you call them, vicar? Like a new... He kind of whips up the people to be even more devout and be more Christian and kind of cast off the old beliefs, so the Cherti are weakened, which gives this very powerful, mysterious power called the Bear, cause to rise, and Vasya is the only person that can stop that. It sounds very dramatic, but this book is actually very slow. We follow Vasya through most of her childhood until she is, I believe, 15 years old or 16. I can't remember exactly. It takes a while to get, you know, started, but then it, you know, gets from 0 to 100 in like no time at all, and we have like world-ending mode. So that happens. I really enjoyed it though. I really enjoyed Vasya's character, and that we get to know her so well, and that we kind of, you know, can see her reasoning for what she decides to do with her life, and that she is a little bit stubborn and, you know, rebels against the patriarchy. So yeah, that's it. In the second book, that is when I hit full reading slump with the second book. I don't know. It's not that I didn't like it, but it was even slower than the first book, although it is significantly shorter. I don't know, it just felt like nothing really happened for most of this book, and then it was also like Moscow got destroyed and everything was on fire in like 3 pages. It's all that it took to like escalate everything. Also, I feel like Vasya is making a lot of stupid decisions in this book, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it at the end, and I'm very interested and intrigued to see how the trilogy is going to end. But I don't know, I feel like this book was a little bit weaker than the first book. So that's that. Also, the plot is a little bit messy, I don't know. Speaking of Russian fairy tales and Russian mythology inspired reads, I've read also Deathless by Katherine and Valente, and I absolutely adored this book. This is a buzz. This is a buzz again. This is one of the books that I will probably reread multiple times in my life. I'm planning to reread it very soon so I can make an in-depth, you know, analytical video about this book. So please look forward to that when I finished it in like 3 to 4 years. So in this book we meet a girl called Maria Morevna who falls in love with Kostya the Deathless, and he takes her to his island Buyan, the island of life, and they have to fight death. And also there's, you know, the Second World War and the rise of the Soviet Union, and also there's the siege of Leningrad, and also this is a portrait of a failing marriage, and also this is about, you know, tough life choices that you make, and also this is about the reinterpretation of Russian mythology, and I love it. You know, when you read books that are like good and you enjoy them and you know that they are crafted well, and then you read something and you think like, this is literature with a capital L. This is one of these books, and I know that a lot of people are like super confused when you read this book at first, because it is super confusing and you have to like get your teeth in and just swim through all of it and try to make sense of it, but like I love it. I just love it. Also, it's beautifully written, and I don't know, like I yeah. From that on to the book that is the only one that I didn't enjoy really that much. I've read Deathless Nebels by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is a Spanish author, I believe, and I've read it in German. I think this book has been translated to English, but I can't remember the title right now. So this is a YA book, kind of about a British boy who, during Second World War, moves to a village, and there's a boy and there's a sunken ship and a weird kind of yard with like statues on them, and there's an evil wizard and like a creepy old lighthouse keeper, and like someone dies at the end, and I was just so confused. Like, not in a way that I didn't understand the story, like I understand what happened. It's just like random. It's so random. I could not connect to the characters. I could not connect to the story, or the plot was not intriguing. It tried so hard to be creepy and mysterious and weird, and I just sat there like, yeah, no thanks. So, I don't know. Will I read anything else of this author? I have another book of his, but I don't have it here. I have it like somewhere, wherever all my books are stored. I hope they are stored in a dry place, because if they get destroyed by this stupid ass company that keeps on messing up our I'm annoyed. Okay, anyways, back to the topic of this video. Read writing style example. We didn't know the name of the mother of this family until chapter 3 or something like that, and then she's named with her full name, like first and last name, like 27 times in one page. I don't know, probably I mean, I'm assuming the author just at that moment, you know, discovered what her name was and had to write it like 700 times to actually remember it. I don't know, that's what I'm assuming. I don't know, this was not for me. And the last book that I've just finished yesterday is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. So this is the first book in the Broken Earth trilogy. It's right there. Okay, just read it. So this is about a woman who has to look for her daughter, because she is something that is called an orogene, which means that she can like earthbend basically, but also waterbend and firebend and airbend all at once. And she has to look for her daughter because her daughter and her son have the same powers, but people like her are feared throughout this continent. So her husband killed his son when he found out, and took their daughter with him, and also like her former mentor kind of destroyed the planet, I guess, by causing an extreme continental rift, and thus condemning the whole of humanity for like to like an ice age. It gets point because it is not the, you know, typical Tolkien paper blueprint cardboard cutout fantasy, but the second person narrative is just I just can't. The present tense narration is I can't, and then nothing really happens. Like you kind of get invested in the character, I guess, and in her 3 stages of character, but she's not she's not a very likable character. Not that, you know, female characters have to be likable, but she is the main protagonist of this book, and like I don't know, I should be invested. Like it also, because the chapters would, you know, skip from one POV to the next. I wasn't really that invested in any of these storylines, so I don't know. Maybe the series as a whole will be the greatest thing I've ever read, but so far I expected something more, because like people hype this up so much, and I'm just like, ugh, okay, I guess. It wasn't horrible. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Also, it ends on a very weird note, and I've started the second book, and it just starts exactly at the moment this book ended, and I'm asking myself, like, what, why, why though? Like, because it feels so abrupt when it starts in the second book, and I just, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know. I feel like I ranted a lot. Sorry. or not, I guess. It's my channel, I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, just like, I don't know, like maybe like give it a thumbs up or something, I don't know, or subscribe or something, maybe, I don't know. It would be nice of you, I guess. Okay, so I'll have other shit to do now, so I'll see you soon, I guess. Bye!